In a recent video, our favorite yoga instructor slash flat earther slash all-round fuckwit, Eric Dubay, inadvertently proves that the Earth is a globe. Why did he do this? I can only assume that the fuckwit part of my description played a role in that. How did he do this? Before I get into that, I should warn you that you will hear the voice of Eric Dubay. If you're anything like me, hearing his voice will make you want to hoof him in the nuts, again and again and again. I can only apologize. It is a necessary evil. There's a channel on YouTube called Dude Perfect, which features guys doing things. The details aren't important. One of the things they did was take the Blue Origin Big Dong rocket into space. Eric seems to believe that this proves a flat Earth. In attempting to demonstrate this, he instead proves that the Earth is, as we all know, a globe. Great work, dumbass. So how did Eric prove the Earth is a globe? I'm glad you asked. Let's hear Eric tell it in his own words. Again, sorry.
If the horizon was actually the physical curvature of a globular Earth, as claimed by NASA, then the horizon would stay fixed where it was, as the craft climbed, and you would have to tilt your head down, further and further the higher you climbed, to be able to even see the Earth out the window.
In other words, if the Earth is a sphere, the horizon should fall as the rocket climbs. So let's watch what happens when the rocket climbs. This is the view outside of the window as the rocket climbs. The video doesn't include a continuous view, so I've just stitched together views that Dude Perfect provides. Let's have a closer look at this. First, the rocket is on the ground. The horizon is very clear, so I'll mark it with a red line. Fairly early in the flight, there's a little cloud cover that obscures the horizon. No altitude is given for this, so nothing can really be discerned from it. At approximately 170,000 feet, nearing the maximum altitude, it's quite clear that the horizon has dropped significantly. Finally, at their maximum height, after they've detached from the booster, we can see that the capsule is tilted somewhat, so again, nothing useful can be really discerned from this. So, the views from ground level and at 170,000 feet are the relevant views. Fading between them, we can see the camera doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the horizon. In fact, if we watch the horizon at 170,000 feet, it is quite noticeably dropping. So, Eric, what was that you were saying?
And you would have to tilt your head down, further and further the higher you climbed, to be able to even see the Earth out the window.
So, Dude Perfect's video demonstrates that we do need to tilt our head down. Granted, not by very much, but that is because the Earth is, if you haven't figured out already, fucking huge. Next, Eric spouts the tired old fisheye lens mantra that flat earthers are required to memorize. They don't need to know anything about fisheye lenses or barrel distortion. In fact, they seem to make a deliberate effort not to learn about it. It's probably better for them that they don't understand it. If they did, they would feel like idiots every time they say it. Instead, they just look like idiots and we laugh at them.
It becomes obvious that this is, as usual, a fisheye lens camera, and not a normal lens.
So what is a fisheye lens, and how does it work? A fisheye lens simply exaggerates barrel distortion. So what is barrel distortion? Without going into the details of the optics, barrel distortion causes lines to curve as they move further from the center of an image. In this photo, we can see that the trees on the left and right hand sides of the image are curved. However, the fence going through the center of the photo is still straight. This is because any straight line going through the center of a photo with barrel distortion will remain straight. A straight line across the top of the photo will be curved up. A straight line across the bottom of the photo would be curved down. A straight line through the center will always appear straight. Keeping this in mind, let's have a look at the Dude Perfect video. The horizon begins with exaggerated curvature caused by barrel distortion, but when the horizon passes through the center of the frame, if the Earth was flat, the horizon would also be flat. However, we still see a curve. When, once again, the horizon moves to the top of the frame, we see an exaggerated curvature. The important part is, when the horizon is through center frame, it is curved. This is proof that the Earth, if you haven't figured out already, is not flat. Finally, Eric waxes idiotically about the passengers floating weightlessly.
They are free-floating within the aircraft, and to the average globe zombie, they think this is because they have reached a high enough altitude that they are beyond the reach of gravity.
No, you fucking moron. No one has ever claimed that there's a point at which gravity stops. Gravity holds our moon in its orbit. Weightlessness is simply the absence of any net forces. Gravity, as we should all be aware, is not a force. Gravity is just a source of acceleration. When you're standing on the ground, the force that you feel is the force of the ground pushing up on you, preventing that acceleration. If allowed to accelerate freely, you would not feel any forces, so, by definition, you are weightless. This is the effect felt by the passengers on the Big Dong rocket. At this point, Eric drones on about how the zero-G results from the same effect that is produced on zero-G airplane flights. Against all odds, he's absolutely correct. He just doesn't understand why. This basically arises from the principle of equivalence in general relativity. This principle basically says that there's no difference between gravity in an inertial reference frame and a non-inertial reference frame. If, for example, you're in a room on Earth where there is gravity, you will feel the gravity. If this room is in deep space where there's nothing to produce a gravitational field, but it's accelerating upward at 9.81 meters per second, from the occupant's perspective, the two cases are identical. The same principle applies here. In this case, the passengers in either the Big Dong or the zero-G flight are in an inertial reference frame relative to the gravitational field, so they will not feel any forces. In other words, as I said earlier, the passengers feel no net force, so they are weightless. What are my overall thoughts of Eric's video? He did a good job of proving that the Earth isn't flat. I don't think that was his intent, but he sure did a good job of it. He is, of course, far too stupid to realize it. His complete lack of understanding of gravity made him look even more stupid. My overall fuckwit assessment still stands. Anyway, click things. Bye.